Pardon my language, that was some weird shit, former President George W. Bush remarked as he departed the dais following Donald Trump's first inauguration 8 years ago. Wonder what he'll say today as Trump completes his remarkable return to the Oval Office. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. President Donald Trump returning to the White House after being sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. The historic moment for the twice-impeached 34-count convicted felon taking place on a bitterly cold day in Washington, forcing the traditionally outdoors ceremony on the steps of the Capitol inside. The same Capitol where a mere 1,475 days ago, a violent mob of Trump supporters lay siege to the heart of American democracy, beating police officers and sending lawmakers fleeing for their lives. Yet despite that horrific day appearing at the time to end Trump's political career, the American people had other ideas. 77 million of them voting to send Trump back to the White House after just 4 years in exile, making Trump only the second president ever to accomplish that feat and the first Republican nominee to win the popular vote in 20 years. Now, back in the White House on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Trump reportedly signing a slew of executive orders to sharply redirect federal policy on immigration, the border, the environment, trade, gender issues, and diversity programs. But before Democrats and those opposed to Trump's hate-filled agenda lose their minds and go berserk, it is important to remember that executive orders are not laws. These orders, sometimes called executive actions, are not mentioned in the U.S. Constitution, and no statute gives the president the power to issue them. Nevertheless, it has become widely accepted that these orders are enforceable so long as the action being directed is within the president's constitutional authority. And that is what Democrats and those opposed to Trump's agenda should focus on. Congress not only has the power to halt an executive order by denying the necessary funding for an action, such as an immigration raid, but can also challenge executive orders in court. And while it is true that the Supreme Court is stacked with 3 Trump appointees and at least 2 other justices utterly subservient to him, that is still not a guarantee that a majority of the 9-member court will go along with everything Trump wants and his perpetual attempt to expand presidential authority. As you know, there are just 3 branches of government: legislative, also known as Congress, executive, the president, and judicial, the courts. When any one of those branches expands or gains authority, it comes at the expense of at least one of the others, sometimes both. And while Congress has repeatedly given power away to the president, such as with respect to engaging in overseas conflicts, the courts have been far more reluctant to do so. This historic resistance could be crucial to curtailing some of Trump's worst actions and impulses. But in order for this to happen, Democrats and those opposed to Trump have to be aggressive, challenging him in court and explaining to the American people why having a Trump dictatorship is not good for them. He did say, after all, he would be a dictator on day one, and today is day one. And yes, admittedly, this sounds a lot like what Democrats were trying to do during the 2024 presidential campaign, which they lost badly. But now the impact of Trump's actions will be tangible, and those opposed to him need to harness that energy against Trump. Democratic capitulation will not work. Will not work. Surrendering to Trump's lawlessness and hatred will not help defeat him, and most importantly, will not help the American people. This is the time for strong, aggressive, adversarial leadership that presents a hopeful, prosperous vision for all Americans, not just the wealthy and well-connected surrounding Trump today at his inauguration. Every day, Trump is talking about buying Greenland, invading Panama, surrendering to Putin, and attacking trans people. Democrats must hammer him and Republicans on inflation, crime, and wages. Keep it simple, stupid, and don't get distracted by, in the words of former President George W. Bush, Trump's very weird shit. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.